opinions of any individuals or organizations mentioned. Statements made about public figures or entities are based on publicly available information and are not intended to harm or defame any person or business. This show relies on fair use of social media posts, which are presented in good faith for the purpose of commentary and criticism. Viewers and listeners are advised to form their own opinions. It's Circle Back here on the Circles Off channel. It's part of the Hammer Betting Network and presented by Kalshi. This is the show where we cover the latest and trending topics that come from gambling Twitter. And we're doing it with your normal Monday crew. And it should be a great show today. We had the MLB scandal heating up. We had a lot of responsible gaming issues that we saw on Twitter come up. And we even had Donald Trump in the booth for Sunday Night Football, which we'll touch on near the end of the show. So make sure you stick around until the end today. Make sure, if you enjoy what you see today, you smash that like button. And make sure as well you are subscribed to the channel if you want to see more shows like this. We have Circle Back every Monday and every Friday. And we also have bonus content that comes out on Wednesdays here on the channel. My name is Jacob Gramegna. I am your host on Circle Back. I'm a producer and creator as well for the Hammer Betting Network. On the right, we have the CEO, professional sports bettor, Rob Pizzola. In the middle, we have seasoned basketball bettor, Kirk Evans. And then on the left, we have the content machine, Geoff Fienberg. How's everyone doing today? I liked that one from last week, so brought it back for this week. Big news right before we went live here. We talked about it on the Hammer Daily, which is a show we run at noon on weekdays here at the Hammer on the Hammer HQ YouTube channel. But Brian Daboll just got fired by the New York Giants. Rob, was it the right call from the Giants?
I think so. I mean, Jacob, you're a Giants fan, but like it feels like this has been like writing on the wall for a while now. I didn't know that yesterday was going to be the final breaking point, but they blew another lead. A cowardly field goal attempt by them, I thought, in that game. And at the end of the day, if you make Caleb Williams have like a 90th percentile game and look good, it's might be time to go. So I talked about it oddly enough on Pizza Buffet yesterday about Daboll, but like. You watch the Giants, he's just like angry on the sidelines, nonstop, every game. It kind of just feels like he's lost control. So I'm not surprised. I don't think anyone was truly surprised by that news breaking today.
I was a little surprised by the timing, I gotta say, but I wouldn't have been. I would have been surprised if he made it through the season without getting fired, for sure. Any thoughts, Geoff?
I think the timing was that's the timing. They blew another game.
Yeah, exactly.
They blew
that's it.
The Bronco game. They blew the Cowboy game. Like all games, like real time, 95% plus win prob. It's over.
Yeah.
Like it's just lost. The question is, will the GM survive? I'll own that. I actually wanted the Chargers to hire him when they hired Staley.
Daboll.
Yeah.
But like as an offensive guy. Or you want him as head coach?
Head coach. That's the same year. That's the year he went to New York.
Right.
It was the same class.
Mm-hmm.
Of fired head coaches.
You didn't think he was maybe like a little bit of a Josh Allen merchant?
I didn't know. It was out of Anthony Lynn, and I was just like anyone for Herbert. Like that was, and then so like elevate.
I mean,
but I liked him. But then last year he went too hard with the Ozempic doses. Mm-hmm. And everything sort of went backwards.
You think it rotted his brain?
Yeah,
maybe
skinny Daboll was like horrible.
I should have said it off the rip, but we are having fire alarm testing going on in the building right now. So if you hear that at all throughout the show, just ignore it. Everything is going to be okay.
It won't be as bad as the mouse clicking from Friday, so don't worry about that.
Yeah, that's true. From Storm. The producer should have stepped up and done something about that, to be honest.
I didn't say it. You did.
Anyways, on Daboll, it was exciting. I didn't think it was necessarily a bad hire. Like sometimes you can make like a seemingly good decision for hiring a guy and it doesn't work out. He had a good first year, won Coach of the Year, but yeah, since then it's been pretty bad. There's been a lot of cowardly decisions that have really pissed me off over the last few years. So I'm happy to see him go. I was just a little bit surprised that they went with it now. But, I mean, after blowing 3 fourth-quarter leads, I guess it does kind of make sense.
Yeah. I mean, you Giants fans, I'm sure, were very excited on that Daniel Jones year. What was it, the Vikings in the playoffs?
Yeah.
That was an exciting year. I think a lot of the New York fan base thought it was trending uphill.
Yeah.
That was the most fraudulent team.
And then a week later, they got absolutely dismantled by the Eagles in the playoffs.
They got crunched. I mean, it tends to happen, but it's been a real fall from grace.
You could argue like sometimes overachieving so hard like that out of the gate can like stunt the whole thing in some weird,
For sure.
in some weird way. Like it eliminates like the true rebuilding phase, and
Tricking
then
yourself into thinking that you're better than you are.
Yeah.
Exactly. The lucky year is a killer for
Killer.
for
It's a franchise killer.
It's exactly what Kirk said. Teams think that they're too far ahead. That you might actually see that from the Colts this year. We'll see.
But the Colts are
No,
they're not fake.
but you're see like Daniel Jones is still the Colts quarterback.
Fair.
you could argue I almost called them the old name, which whatever. The Commanders actually went through that because they never actually rebuilt.
Yeah.
When they were supposed to rebuild, they were instantly amazing, and then that led them to like sign a guy like Debo.
Yeah.
Like, okay, now we gotta force it, and it's like boom. I don't know.
No, I think it's very. It happens a lot across sports. You get that surprise year out of nowhere. You think that you're further ahead than you actually are. You start moving draft picks to acquire like veteran players, guys that can help you get over the top, but you're not that good. And then you come crashing down to earth. I think kind of the Giants went that route. But you know what? Even if Daboll didn't get fired, probably the thought of having to start Russell Wilson again this week, he might have actually resigned. Because I think he hates Russ so much on the sideline. Like, I don't even think they communicate anymore. I don't even see them talk ever anymore at this point. And remember, what game was it where Jackson Dart went into the medical tent?
And then Daboll screamed at
Was the Eagles game?
Yeah, that was.
It's like, get him back out here. Let's go.
Yeah, and
No
then
Russ.
Russ had 2 snaps and got booed off the field by the Giants fans.
So good.
Pretty brutal showing. Anyways, give us your thoughts on Brian Daboll getting fired in the chat or in the comments down below. But it's time for us to get into the show today. The leadoff topic, I think it had to be the leadoff topic on today's show. We have updates in the MLB gambling scandal that involves Luis Ortiz and Emmannuel Clase, and it came from Geoff Pesant of ESPN. Great source of info coming for the MLB. And he says Cleveland Guardians pitchers Emmannuel Clase and Luis Ortiz face up to 65 years in prison if convicted on all charges, according to the Eastern District of New York, which outlined the case against Clase and Ortiz after indicting them on fraud, conspiracy, and bribery charges. Then followed up with a few more tweets on the situation, saying that prosecutors allege that Ortiz was paid $5,000 for throwing an intentional ball on June 15th, and Emmannuel Clase was given $5,000 for facilitating it. They did it again, according to the indictment, June 27th. The payment for each on that pitch was $7,000 apiece, equating to, if my math is correct, $12,000 each for the pitches being thrown for balls on the first pitch. And if you don't know what the situation was, it was first pitch markets, first pitch of the game to be a ball or a strike, and they were seemingly, at least, and now indicted on this, they were seemingly thrown intentionally to be balls. Now, the next tweet says the 23-page indictment against Clase and Ortiz lays out the alleged scheme for the pitchers to intentionally throw balls so bettors could wager on the pitches to be balls or strikes. All right. Emmannuel Clase is on a contract where he can make over $26 million in the next 3 years. $6.4 million scheduled for the upcoming season, 2026. And then a club option for $10 million in 2027 and another $10 million club option in 2028. And he threw that away, potentially, for $12,000, which is the equivalent, as reported here by Yankee World, 0.00003% of that amount. So it's just crazy numbers here. One of the pitches actually was swung on. It ended up being a strike as well. It was well below the zone, but it was swung on, which was pretty crazy. That was pretty funny, as showcased here by Pablo Torre. And there's conversations again about the necessity for these markets to be up. Let's start off first of all with a conversation around just doing this in general. Like, Rob, can you believe somebody who's making this much money in the MLB would put it all in jeopardy for this small figure to him? Like, why would anybody even consider that?
I can't rationalize it myself. I think Spanky had a good tweet this morning about some people just get excited about beating the game, so to speak. It's like, and maybe that could be the case. But it will be very hard for like a regular person who, you know, earns, let's just say like a standard income to look at someone who's making multi-million dollars and be like, you would throw this career, potentially risk this career to make $12,000. I mean, it could have been more than that. Maybe there's scenarios that we don't know about. But it is very hard to rationalize, honestly. And when you see those figures come out, like reportedly what they were getting paid, it does make you wonder if this is more widespread and more rampant than just like a one-off case. At least it does for me. Like, what are athletes willing to do to go? Like, is it like, I'm not going to get caught type of situation? It's obviously not for the money. It is so hard for me to determine, or like in my head rationalize what is going through someone's head to take this type of risk.
Yeah, so I think kind of like you said, the numbers to me, I'm not like super convinced that that's the truth, because like what you can put in an indictment is what you like have as provable versus there were a lot of other story, or I saw another report that like there were hundreds of pitches that like they use like the mile per hour market, stuff like that. So I think those numbers probably aren't accurate, but either way, obviously it's just completely insane that someone making this type of money would do it. And even if the numbers are heavily underreported, it would need to be like 1,000x before you could even like start to wrap your head around it. But either way, it's like you're a professional athlete. Why are you risking going to prison? But I think what you said is also true, that I think probably these players really didn't understand how easy it is to get caught. They probably thought it was impossible to get caught, but actually it's like so easy for a book to realize like, oh, that people are betting way more money on this market that no one bets on, and every time they bet it, we lose.
And it's happening on the same pitchers all the time.
Yeah, exactly. So I think them getting caught, and hopefully this whole like extended probe, you know, gets to players. But, you know, there's been a lot of players punished before for gambling stuff, and it just seems like they can't get it through their head. So, yeah, it's just sad and really dumb overall.
More like mind-boggling to me than the whole like NBA scandal.
Yeah.
In some ways, I think this one is crazier. Even though I don't think pitchers gas canning pitches is like pervasive. I'm naive enough to think that's not really an issue.
Yeah.
And I don't really know how one player outside of like a guy who knows he's getting multiple innings in a game really could impact the game. Like, I really don't know where, like, pick any player, any player, and figure, like, where could that player move a market?
For like an average, so like, I think about this from a logistics point of view, right? Say I'm trying to organize something where I know that I can get someone to pitch a ball and I want to take advantage of it. You're not going to get, you know, Todd Furman's point is valid in one sense here. The recreational limits on this that are open widely to people are very small, generally. Like, even if you have a fresh account, like a fresh FanDuel, fresh DraftKings, you're going to get small limits. So I'm guessing this was orchestrated through some VIP accounts. And at some point, like, why would a book be offering VIP limits on like one pitch of the game, really? I mean, there is some sort of accountability on the sports books as well for even making that a possibility. It should not be a possibility for somebody to be able to go and bet. I mean, if they're paying these guys $5,000 a pop, they're probably betting at least 20, 25 themselves on a pitch. That's dumb, right? Like, it's one thing if your VIP comes to you and says, hey, can I get increased limits here? Then already you can monitor that situation. You kind of know what's going on. But to offer that right up front is really, really dumb.
So I don't, like, what sort of individual bets can you make? Can I bet that a guy will make an error? Like, just specifically player A makes
I've never seen an error prop.
All I could think of is a superstar hitter betting on himself to walk.
Yeah.
Like a superstar hitter who just knows that, like, if he doesn't want to swing, he will get a wall.
But it would
he
be
could bet
easier-
on like himself striking out.
Exactly. Him striking out, him not under total bases. Like, you could throw a game pretty easily.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. Then we're talking about the types of player. Well, I guess this guy's making a ton of money. I don't know. It's just crazy. And we can end it because it's pretty simple. Like, truly, it's just about... He values doing this the same way like Zilbert values winning a bet. It's just about like street cred.
Yes.
It's just literally about making the homies happy. And like that's all this seems to have been about, which is pretty fucked up.
But that, because I agree with you in terms of Rozier feels a lot like that. And that I can kind of empathize with of like, I can see like people are probably asking players for money all the time, stuff like that. And like, this is an easy way to like get credit, like get your friends to like you more. Like I can at least see that with Rozier, but this seemed to be with like more of a syndicate. So like even just how the scheme started is very interesting to me. So yeah, this one I agree with you is more odd than even the Billups or Rozier.
From a pure betting perspective, I interviewed Gringo, I think like last year on this channel, who is a mover based out of Colombia. And he messaged me this morning, and I love this message, which said, honestly, the most annoying part about being a sports bettor lately is your redacted friends telling you every match is fixed. And honestly, I live that with my friends now, right? It's like, oh, look what's happening. You told me that the sports weren't fixed, and now these guys are throwing balls on purpose. I argued with a guy for 10 minutes too long after Thursday Night Football, Broncos Raiders. Guy in my mentions of like, you're telling me sports aren't, you watch this game, and you're telling me that this Broncos Raiders game was not fixed? I'm like, no. Like these offenses suck. I mean, have you ever watched? But I have to live this over and over, and frankly, it's going to get worse. I mean, there's just going to be more and more stories that come out, in my opinion. Sucks.
Kirk's right that, you know, a couple scared straights, that's even like the dumbest guys will realize like how easy it is to get popped.
But like,
Does this mean that a couple of them will just get like smarter and they'll fix like the games or the totals, like markets that are exponentially harder to find nefarious
Hopefully
play
not.
in?
yeah. Well,
Because that's just the next leveling up from trying to, scrape a prop. Or two.
I wonder how much like true evidence they had in this situation, because like that one where the guy swung over the ball on the first pitch, there was a text message exchange afterwards, right? Where one guy sent like a meme of one guy hanging himself with toilet paper or something like that. And so there was an actual documented digital exchange between those two people, right? What if those texts don't exist? Like, do people just get smarter afterwards and they're like meeting up in person to like, I don't know how they pieced this all together. Obviously we know how they pieced it together from like weird gambling side of things, right? You're just looking at analysis of the bets and you're being like, no, something's up here. But there has to be something to tie it all together. I wonder if people will just try to like be smarter about it rather than stop. Because like
criminals always get smarter.
Yes.
Like,
and this
always...
up to 65 years in prison. I mean, they just take the max sentence of every charge. And it's guy's going to get maybe like 18 months or something along those lines. There'll be like some sort of plea deal, whatever. It's not going to be 65 years in prison. So, I mean, that's not even a threat anyways to some of these guys. It's really the money. It's the monetary amount.
But no, come on. You're an MLB starting pitcher, and you might have to spend 18 months in prison. Like, that is still an unbelievable crime or an unbelievable punishment in the sense of like, you can just be the coolest job
Yeah, it's true.
in the whole fucking world, or you could go to jail potentially. So I do agree with you. It's kind of like there's two paths of like, they just get smarter, or do players realize like, this is so fucking stupid, let's not do it, and it's hard to say where it'll go.
There's something about human behavior where a lot of people convince themselves that the downside is like such an unrealistic possibility for them that even when you know the consequences of doing something really dumb, you might end up still doing it anyways because you convince yourself that like the chances of this, I don't know, this is an eye-opening situation. Let me just put it that way. To see a closer in his prime at 27 years old throw that away to make thousands, Not maybe hundreds of thousands, let's say, but even then, like not millions, that is an eye-opening situation.
Agreed.
What is a guy who can just get out there and give you like 25 starts in a season?
Yeah.
Could be your fourth starting pitcher. You know what that's worth?
I know.
Like in today's baseball economy.
Yeah. You got a platoon player who plays 20 games a year off the bench against left-handed pitchers or something like that. You get to that guy, and it's like, hey man, today you're not hitting this lefty very well. You know, under hits. What's that worth to someone like that? I mean, I don't know. Player props have created a different level of trying to game the system. Like this isn't like the Donaghy fix referee level type of we're calling a bunch. It's just like these micro bets essentially. Yeah.
I'll say this: if you've been betting, like you've noticed it. Try betting an under prop. Can't get down anything anymore.
There is now like a war on props.
Yeah.
Both like publicly, like the casuals, the people like who don't really know anything, even the people that like hate sports bettings for legitimate reason, like the ire towards the props.
Yeah. I know.
You know, there's a war on them right now. So good luck to all you prop players, because I don't know how much longer.
No, they can remove some of them, but they can't. At the end of the day,
no, like the
obscure ones, and no one's gonna care. That's the thing. Like, if you remove the ability to bet on, is this pitch going to be a ball or strike, who the fuck is going to care? That's what I don't... Like, different if you're removing, can a player hit a home run? Or, like, runs, hits, airs. Like, commonly bet props, strikeouts. You can't... But some of the micro bets, we have gone too far.
And you know, Rob, because you've probably had more meetings or behind there, like, micro bets is sort of been their, like, next frontier that they want to make, like, a dominant thing.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that goes. I mean, you could still have them. It could be like penny slots, though.
Yeah, sure.
Like you can have them, but it's like literally like $10 max. You want to bet on this pitch, like come, but it's like $10, $12.
Yep.
Even there's no special VIP treatment.
Yeah.
It's
That's
like a
the
penny
solution,
slot.
Jeff. That is the solution. What you're recommending right there. You want to have them? Fine. They're just going to be imposed limits across the entire market on these.
Like I can bet more on certain sites on the Royal Rumble than I can on micro props.
Yeah,
exactly.
Bingo. Scripted event. Just like some of these micro bets, you know?
All right, we'll move into our next topic on the show today. Before we do, if you're enjoying the show so far, make sure you have hit that like button. Also, make sure you're subscribed to the channel for 3 pieces of content a week on the Circles Off channel, 2 of which being circle back shows just like this. If you have any thoughts on anything we talk about, put it in the live chat. We like to interact with some of that in real time. Put it in the comment section down below if you are watching after the fact. But NFL Sunday yesterday caused a lot of shakeups in many different ways. You could say it about Survivor, but you could also say it about the MVP market with Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills losing to the Miami Dolphins. The MVP market looks a lot different now. The favorite, according to Kalshi, when I pulled up these odds, has Matthew Stafford at 25%, Drake May at 22%, Patrick Mahomes 17%, Jonathan Taylor, after a very impressive game in Berlin, is up to 13%, and Josh Allen all the way down from 27 to 10%. Jeff, where do you think this market is heading? Who do you think has the upper hand? Who do you think should be the MVP in the NFL as of now?
I'm going to just take a total cop-out and say I don't even know if I've been doing it on air because I've just been having the conversation a lot for a couple weeks. I don't feel like we've had a consortium of MVP candidates like this anytime I can remember. And you could run another page and a little more, and you could just see a conceivable path where any one of those guys just gets on a heater, impresses over the holidays, and then boom goes the dynamite. It is so fun and exciting. I will say I have no action in this market. There's no one I really want to commit to. If you loved Josh Allen a week ago, maybe you should like him at the current numbers. Might be all I would say, but I don't have any. I'm not betting on anyone. I'd be afraid if I love Drake May about the Stafford narrative and the push to get it to him.
Yeah, I actually just completely agree with everything you said. I do have some Drake May, so he's the horse I'm absolutely cheering for. But I think this is like one, if you could conceive of an MVP race that's really fun, this is it. and if you could conceive an MVP race of like, even you don't need to be the sharpest bettor in the world, but just like a guy who follows the NFL, if you really lock into this race, this is like a money-making opportunity for sure.
Yeah.
You could, I completely agree. There's probably 10 to 15 more guys who could win who aren't even on this page because of how much it's how wide open it is and how much it's going to be based on the back half of the season. So I think, Josh Allen to me doesn't seem like a crazy look at 10%.
Oh, I was going to say the opposite.
Really?
Okay, so like the Patriots, I don't want to speak in absolutes, but they're very likely to win the AFC East now. I mean, if you look at the Patriots' schedule, they've already have one tiebreaker with Buffalo. They beat them. Now there's going to be another game with Buffalo. They play at Baltimore. Aside from that, which I'm looking at right now, like they have the Jets, Bengals, Giants before the bye.
So
they close with Jets and Dolphins. Like Matt Stafford's got, I think, 4 straight games of 4 touchdown passes or more, and that's why he's kind of leapfrogged to where he is right now. But they're going to have 2 games against Seattle.
2 Seattle games left.
I think Drake May should be favored in this market. Some people might say, well, he's a young quarterback. How much credit will Vrabel get in the Coach of the Year market versus May? May's been so good. I think, I don't want to recommend stuff that I wouldn't click myself. I'd have to do more work into it, but I believe no on Josh Allen, 91 cents is probably good. And like with Mahomes, right? They're also, Denver's a fraud, but KC might not even win the division. Like Mahomes not going to win MVP if they don't win the division. I really do think that the top 2 at the top, like I'll be surprised if it's not Stafford or May at this point in the year. Ooh. I don't know who can come from behind here.
I just feel like these guys just have such no one is having like a classic MVP season. True. I just think that if someone rattles off 8 really good games from the back of the pack, they could absolutely win.
Like I could think of a guy.
I could think
of
a guy I would
girl?
never vote for that I could think of from a stats perspective that some people might look at the end of the year and be like, which would be Jordan Love. I think if the Packers went on like a big run to end the year, you could look at a lot of metrics, passing metrics that show that I don't think Jordan Love is good. Don't get me wrong, but like that type of run could do it
as well. Tonight is a big game for the MVP race.
Lamar Jackson as well, I think, could make a push.
Lamar missed a bunch of games.
Yeah, but I think that might even help him. If the Ravens go on a run when he's back and he's playing,
has MVP ever won
his value even further.
That's
how many
a good
games
question.
5?
I mean, that's a good storyline though. Like the Ravens
Look how
were
bad they were
completely
without
out
him.
of it.
He comes back, he leads them to the top of the division. That's definitely an MVP caliber story.
I think Drake May's price is short. That's my biggest opinion on this.
Because
I think that
I agree.
At 22%, I think that he is going to win the MVP more than a quarter of the time. That would be what I would say.
On Kalshi, the Patriots have a 68% chance of winning the division. If they win the division, Josh Allen is just not winning this award at all.
I agree.
So I like Drake May as well.
Yes,
like
I think
the
that's
price
the best
on the Patriots to be the 1 seed today is also pretty good.
I mean, the schedule sets up nicely, and they get Buffalo at home next time around as well. They already won the road game at Buffalo, so that'll be big. It's really at Baltimore. That's the toughest game for them. With that said, I mean, May is moving the ball on everyone. So interesting. It is an interesting race.
Like, should Danny Dimes really be 65 to 1 to win this award?
Danny Dimes.
I know Johnny Taylor's like clearly the guy from the team.
Yeah, you mentioned Vrabel. Like there'd be Taylor and Steichen in their other markets.
You have to cast a vote. Your vote. It will be so hard for someone who has endured the entire career of Daniel Jones to cast a vote for him for MVP.
Yeah. What's Herbert right now?
Herbert is
1%.
1%.
Yeah.
Really?
So is Daniel Jones.
I think Herbert could win.
If
I
the
think
Chargers
Goff could win, maybe.
I don't think it's just about the pathway. So let's say they win a division that had Mahomes, that had this Denver team. He has no tackles. He puts the team on his back.
Yeah.
That's what it would take. I don't think they'll get there, but 1% seems pretty low.
He's like a long shot that I could say has a viable option. Like I don't think Goff does. Goff had put together like very gaudy stats last year and didn't even get remotely close to. I get that
Goff
it's different.
against May and Stafford is a bit of a different story than Goff against Allen and Lamar. You know.
So I'm looking at the Ravens schedule, just like talking about Lamar. It's
No.
Jeff is out. Jeff wants to click that no on the.
There's a pathway here. I mean,
He
there's a
missed
lot
games.
Yeah.
And it's
easier
all
games.
narrative. They love spreading this thing around. You have a veteran who's never won, and the next big thing.
Yeah.
So he just does not check the boxes to actually.
Yeah.
I'd
rather bet Goff.
And the
Herbert,
team has just got a
Love,
lot
and
of
Lamar.
talent.
I'm just saying Lamar at the price.
They're
is just
battling for a
interesting.
playoff.
Here's what I'll say. What's the probability on Lamar?
3%.
3?
Yeah.
That's. I'm with you on this one. I think he's less than 3%. I think Lamar could win. There's a perfect world where he does, but I think he's less than 3%.
If we're starting the race over again, he's part of the top 2 or 3. But that's not where it is.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. God, it's
gonna be fun.
I mean,
Good
the ups
discussion.
and downs of NFL markets from like a week-to-week basis as well. Like, look at the Stafford climb in those odds, right? Over the course of, and it makes total sense. But I think you're kind of like buying the top with Stafford.
Other than like Jonathan Taylor for offensive, like everything has been
Yeah.
a lot of moving and shaking in a lot of the markets.
But you know what? If we had this conversation 6 weeks ago, people thought Puka Nacua was a lock for offensive. Yeah, and it just flips like that. He misses a game, he gets hurt, boom. And that, like, the exact same thing could happen.
This sounds corny, but that's probably the wrong word because I don't know what I'm trying to say. Other than if you're trying to make a bet, are you looking at like the late season primetime schedule?
Oh yeah,
I think it's worth
100%.
for sure.
Because that's
It's no
how
different
the
than the
shit
fantasy
goes.
football guys who are trying to make trades to set them up nicely for the playoffs. Everyone's looking at this.
So-
I would never bet an awards market without looking at the schedule down the stretch.
But even if there's like a really hard week 17 game, the fact that it's really hard
Could work
is
in
the
their favor.
laneway that you
Absolutely.
actually need to maybe win the award.
Yeah. I remember last year, like Sam Darnold lost essentially the comeback player of the year award because he had a really shit game in the last game of the season. Like people
Not sure
play
if I
into.
agree with you there.
Well, sorry,
But Purdy
it had a very large effect
2
on
or
the voting
3
of that
years
award.
ago,
Yeah.
When he was like the MVP favorite and then just had a dud on primetime and
Yeah.
like he went from like 40%
I think that was against the Ravens. Too.
Yeah, Ravens,
I think it was a
exactly.
Ravens game where he was just. But yeah, that's exactly it. Because the whole year it was like Purdy is not as good as these EPA numbers suggest, and then he basically needed to play flawless. And if he did, he had a really good chance to win, but he didn't.
So Colt noted in chat, and this is interesting. The Eagles have 3 more primetime games, including tonight before the end of the season. Last 3 games of the season, they played the Commanders twice and the Bills. So I think Hurts, there's a pathway there as well, just because of the primetime games. If the Eagles were to,
just feels
There's
so
got to be a late,
gross.
but you make that move on something and then you shudder when you're like fading Drake May and he gets flexed into like a week 16 primetime game and you're like, oh shit.
With Hurts, I don't know if maybe the public perception of Hurts is different than mine, but like I can't exist in a world where like a league average quarterback wins the MVP.
right?
Like.
Yeah, like it just you look at his numbers and you're like, maybe this guy could win that MVP. Like the storyline's been terrible for him all year. There was fighting. They're 6-2. They could easily win the NFC. They won the Super Bowl last year. He has 15 touchdowns, 1 pick, 5 rushing touchdowns. Doesn't throw for many yards, but
I don't know, man.
I could see it. It could happen.
It could happen.
It could definitely happen. But it's a fun award.
Yeah, it's amazing.
It's a
I
real
love that market. Yeah.
Jason messaged me. I was going to move on, but Jason said this is ridiculous. We need to talk about Sam Darnold for MVP as well. I guess he's in there as well.
Sure. And he's part of that, you said, like the conceivable list. If they run off
7% for him.
if they run off like 3 or 4 straight wins and they keep like pumping, then of course.
But Darnold to me is like, why is Darnold? I was looking at the DK odds. I don't know about Kalshi, but like, why is Darnold 10-1 and Danny Dimes 65? Like they both kind of have like obviously
same arc, yeah.
Taylor's the running back and JSN is the receiver, but JSN's second in OPOY. Taylor's 1. Well, Danny Dimes is, and Seattle has the defense that's completely insane. Like, why is Darnold priced so much better than Dimes?
This is my point on Darnold, and I would say why I think 10% on Darnold is bad.
I completely
because
agree.
everyone around him is going to get more credit than him.
Yes.
Like it's already like Clint Kubiak, it's his system. McDonald as head coach, JSN for offensive player of the year. It's. I'm not. Again, this is not a criticism of Darnold. It's just more so, I think, how he's viewed around the league.
He's great. Some of these guys that we are putting in the conversation are also being graded on a curve.
Yeah.
In some, no offense to Danny and Sam Darnold,
Yeah.
but
No, I'm with you, Geoff. I know what you mean. I don't want to exist in a world where these guys win MVP. If Daniel Jones won the MVP,
I don't know what I would do if Daniel Jones let the Giants
society
win MVP,
as a whole. If this guy, these guys are, he's a dime a dozen quarterback. He's in a great offensive system, and it's not this. Same with Darnold. Darnold's fine. He's a fine quarterback. He's got good arm strength. He can make the throws you need to make him. His downfield accuracy's been good, but MVP is you're the face of the league.
Yeah.
How is that going to go to Sam Darnold?
Damn. Let's clip this later when Sam Darnold wins.
Sure.
Fun segment.
Yeah.
Good
Stafford,
segment, yeah.
yes. It could easily go to Stafford's been around forever. He's always been good. He's respected. Darnold out of nowhere, it would take
But Darnold played last year and was really good as well.
I hate to.
But all of that was undone by the end of the season.
Fair, but Minnesota's it's not like they've plugged in
Sure.
JJ McCarthy
In all sports, what would the Stafford MVP comp be?
Winning your MVP at the end of your career.
Late, really being that respected, that good. We can move on.
Who was in the
spot.
shadows of LeBron forever? I'm not the biggest basketball fan, but somebody must have been in LeBron's shadows.
No,
forever.
usually the NBA's always done a good job.
Dwayne Wade had already achieved a lot before.
Sprinkling the MVPs around.
Yeah.
The NBA's really good at that.
Sprinkle them around.
Yeah, even in the Jordan era, we always saw Barkley, David
honestly,
Robinson.
Wade winning a late MVP in his career would have been an equivalent,
Yeah.
I guess.
I think that's probably the best call.
Yeah, I was thinking
But it doesn't really happen
if
because
Dirk Nowitzki had won one late in his career, which wasn't the case. That's the one I can think of.
Dirk won an MVP though. Yeah,
I'm saying one earlier. Let's say he won it
quarterbacks
later.
are just I feel last longer than kind of other sports, so it kind of works better.
Yeah.
Weird year.
The oldest NBA MVP award. I was trying to find the oldest first-time NBA MVP winner. I thought it was Karl Malone,
I'm sorry,
but I don't think it is. Maybe it's Karl Malone. He won when he was in his 30s, but I don't think there's a really good NBA
Karl
comp for
Malone's
this.
honestly a pretty
Karl
good comp.
Malone might not be a bad one.
Yeah, this would be pretty strange.
That was another example of how the NBA, Jordan let other guys get MVPs.
Give us, if anyone in the chat has a thought, what would be the other sport comp for Sam Darnold winning the MVP award this season in the NFL? But great conversation. We do unfortunately have to move on from it, though. Before we do, all of the numbers that I was talking about, the percentages, are available to you on Kalshi. You can head over to Kalshi by scanning the QR code on screen right now, or by going to the link in the description if you're listening to audio, or at any point in the YouTube watching experience. You can go to link in the description, sign up to Kalshi, get involved with all of these great prediction markets, and by doing so, you're supporting the show at the exact same time, which is very helpful to us here at Circles Off and The Hammer. We're going to move into our next topic, which is on what I've called in the rundown here, unresponsible gaming, because there was a couple of examples of it, and maybe a sportsbook trying to firstly promote responsible gaming, and then another example where people are showing very unresponsible gaming signs. First of all, we have this one from @OneWho'sTY. Hopefully that's how you say the username. Anyways, they quote tweeted something. It was a tweet that said, "Name an addiction worse than alcohol and drugs," and they quote tweeted it with just simply FanDuel. FanDuel actually reached out to this person via email to confirm that the post was made by them and if they feel like gaming activity is becoming addictive or causing any distress. And she posted a screenshot of that and said, they suspended my account over this tweet. So I've seen her post screenshots of FanDuel tickets since then, so she wasn't suspended. But FanDuel directly reached out to her, and I wanted to lump it in with this one here by Giants kicker Graham Gano, who said, "Ever since sports betting started," so I'll take that as became regulated and more mainstream. He said, "I get people telling me to off myself every week because I'll hit a kick that loses them money, or I'll miss a kick and it loses them money. The other day, somebody told me to get cancer and pass away." So pretty bad signs. Some, I mean, I kind of wanted to look at this FanDuel one a little bit more. Like, what do we think about a sportsbook reaching out to a user who tweets something like that? Kirk, do you have any thoughts?
I was like kind of stunned that this was real. Like, how did FanDuel come across this tweet? How did they link it? Like,
So I'm thinking maybe from a screenshot, they got like a bet ID off of it, like the ticket ID off of it, and maybe
like,
linked it
that's
to the
like
account.
Some real investigative
That's my
journalism
only.
right
That's my
there.
only theory.
Yeah, like it feels a little invasive, but like
Yeah.
actually like pretty responsible. So I'm like mostly neutral on it. I was just interested, and yeah, like to me, on the opposite side of like there should be a program where like if a player ever gets a message from someone about like go kill yourself and die because you missed this kick, the player should just be able to send it to like a league wide like program.
Yeah.
The league investigates it right away. That person is never allowed to bet on any sports book in the whole world, any recreational legalized sports book. They should be banned.
Best
That
idea
is how it
ever
should be.
that's come out of this show.
I entirely agree with this. I think there's nothing that makes me more sick than people like giving death threats to athletes because they lost a $10 bet. Like it on the totem pole of like worst people in society. Obviously, there's much worse where you get like murderers, rapists, and whatever. But this is like right at it. These people fucking suck. People who go after athletes, death threats, things like that. With the FanDuel one, there's a large conversation to be had here of like, do sportsbooks actually care about responsible gaming? And I don't really want to get, Geoff, you might have some thoughts, right? I think that whether or not they do actually care, there's a lot of eyes on them from regulators, from a responsible gaming standpoint. And let's just go back to that example really quickly, Jacob. Let's say something happens here where this woman, Kiva, one who's TY, goes on like some sort of very irresponsible gaming type of bender at some point or another. Someone will point to this and be like, the signs were there. Why did you not do anything? They are going to get fined. They're going to have to deal with the optics of this being public. So they are, whether you like it or not, put in a position where they are almost forced to do this. Like, this is a ridiculous thing to happen. We can all agree that this is way over the top. Geoff, I know you want to get.
I'm like busting at the seams, but go.
Yeah. I was just gonna say this. Yeah, this is like to me over and above, honestly, what they kind of need to do. And I do have a friend who was playing blackjack for, I think they had a $5 bonus, and they were just like screwing around with the dealer and wrote in the chat like, "I need this to feed my kids immediately."
Yeah.
Account done, gone. The guy didn't have kids. It was obviously a joke. But FanDuel, I've seen some promising things here.
So I'll give my story that had me lose an account once. Really embarrassing, probably around the time we knew each other working.
Sure.
Would have been like
mid-2010s, early 2010s?
early 2010s. Oh
This was
my God.
before legalized betting. This would have been
Yes.
like an offshore book.
So a couple things. You said a lot of words, but you didn't say the word, which is why they did this. Liability.
Yeah. 100%.
Liability, 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 liability. And then you can think of all your other responsible gambling charades. It's just liability. God forbid this person did something.
Yeah.
And then if like this can all just tread back. So I have a story. The website, it's popular. We'll just for codes say bet every day. That is like beteveryday.com. You could use the simple number algorithm to replace everyday with, but it's beteveryday.com. And I was working. Anyhow, I made a bet. And the bet was a little, I was like, home. I don't know what it was. Before I had no kids, girlfriend, whatever, off work, or I don't even remember. I was just alone. Made a nice big bet on an afternoon baseball game. No. Sure. Afternoon, evening, whatever. This was before you could like hit cash out, even after you made the bet, like just to buy it back.
Right.
I write them. I'll be like, listen, I actually bet more than I want. I've been home like drinking and smoking today. I'll make the same bet again. I just want it for less. The line was the exact same.
Yeah.
So I knew, right? Done. I emphasized that I bet well under the influence, and they wanted no fucking part.
Yeah.
Done. And what's fun, the funniest part about this bet is the game actually got rained out. It never happened. It would have
Wow.
been fully refunded anyway.
Wow, you killed a really good account.
Killed a good account. I would have lost it. Whatever. That beteveryday.com. I mean, I got enough those coming out of my ears. Friends and fans. Everyone's got one of those.
Yeah.
In my orbit. And then they made me speak to to get my account back. I had to speak to one of their shrinks. Really? Obviously, I did not fucking pass. And then I got really annoyed. I'm like, all these English blokes that you take all their money, you think they're sober betting their fucking footy? What are you talking about? But anyhow, I said that it just came back to liability.
Yeah. Well, that's it. That's the world we live in. I mean,
So
if you can't understand why this happened, I don't know if you're living in the world that I live in nowadays, but it's there. I just wonder where the line is drawn. What if I tweeted out, just a random example, I'm addicted to betting underdogs. That exact wording. I'm addicted to betting underdogs.
Someone messaged.
What if I just tweeted
he tweeted that?
Could the sports books then just reach out to me and shut down my account and be like, "Hey, man, you're exhibiting." I don't know where we draw the line. It's a very.
I'm addicted to first touchdown primetime games. I can't stop.
Backup tight end first touchdowns.
In standalone games, picking up first touchdown.
I think they should avoid Twitter. Twitter is you're allowed to joke.
But again, to the whole point of liability, right? This is a really extreme. I'm in very good headspace or whatever. But let's say I'm addicted to betting underdog. I tweet that, and then I go on a really, really bad run. I go broke, and can I then go after sportsbooks in the space for still allowing me to bet because I exhibited behaviors of being a so
you're trying to get a free roll here
I'm
with
not,
a tweet?
I would never do that.
Sets up a free roll.
Let's just say worst case scenario, right? I don't even want to go there, but you guys know what the worst case scenarios are from gambling. Someone gets way in over their head, something happens, they harm themselves, and they had tweeted that earlier, right? Does the sports book then have any sort of liability? This is where we're getting into really gray area. If we're gonna have somebody reach out to this consumer here from just what everyone realizes is a joke of a tweet.
So,
well, I
where
actually
do
kind
you
of
draw the
wonder.
line?
but did the tweet go viral, or they just have someone in house that
was a
searches fan?
It was a
just-
viral
thing,
tweet,
viral.
huge.
So it came across a few people, and
Yeah.
then
We gotta nip it in the bud. Yeah, stuff. It's kind of funny.
I mean, it makes
It's a good
sense.
tweet.
It's funny.
They don't want
Relax.
their brand being associated with something negative like that. It makes sense. I think it's smart. We'll move into our next topic in just a moment here. Before we do, let's hear from the CEO at the Hammer. It's a big day, our Mondays. What do we have going on around the network today?
If you think I'm going to promote 5 p.m. Eastern time, hit the books after Brad Powers shows up last week, decked out in Chargers gear.
No, Dodgers.
Sorry.
He's always wearing a Chargers. He wears
is.
a Chargers hat a lot, though.
He does. Texas,
So I like that.
Texas Longhorns had a lot, but showed up in full Dodgers gear. And I'm sitting over here, Jason's producing, and I just hear Jason no, before the show starts, no, I'm not doing the show today. I am not doing the It's what is that? Anyways, it's there. But as the CEO of the company, I should try to get you to watch it. It's entertaining, but I don't want to give them the plug this week. I'm still not over that yet. 8 o'clock tonight, me and Jason are back on Forward Progress. It's a live watch along. Should be a good game. Eagles, Packers. If you never tuned into one of those before, I think you would enjoy it. We have a pretty good time. There's a lot of jokes throughout. It's a good camaraderie, good vibe. So catch the watch along on Forward Progress, Packers and Eagles tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern time.
All right. Good stuff around the network. If you want to check any of it out, make sure you go to the links in the description. I've linked all the other channels we have amongst the Hammer Betting Network for you to never miss out on any of our content. Now we're going to get into a topic that comes across our desk every few months or so, and I kind of wanted to get everyone's thoughts on it once again here. So it's in the topic of revealing an edge for oftentimes getting clout on Twitter or the internet, anywhere. And we have this one from Giuseppe Paps, who said #EdgeKiller. And it was after a tweet that they made that said, it is with great regret that I announced FanDuel has stopped leaving money on the ground on running backs to get 1+ yards on the first drive. Somebody unhappy about that tweet sent them a message with that and said, do yourself a favor. Next time you find a massive edge on the biggest retail book in the world, shut the fuck up about it and just fucking bet it. Do you not realize how much money you cost, A, yourself, and B, others in the community by posting that shit on Twitter for clout? Just fucking bet. And then the reply from Giuseppe was, dude, I don't care. I do this for fun, which is oftentimes the answer that comes up. I'll start with you, Kirk, on this one because you have personal experience on the side of the sender. So what is your opinion when something like this arises where somebody reveals an edge?
I do have personal experience, and I also commented on this tweet saying, team, whoever texted this guy this. And then I think
we might know who texted this.
It reads as very Seville.
Yes, it reads as someone I think I might know.
Yes, just fucking bet.
Just fucking bet.
Yeah,
Shut the fuck up and bet. Yeah.
Yes, agreed. But yeah, I tweeted a similar thing out that I'll say, like, this always goes in the same cycle. The person gets shit on for this, and immediate human response is like, I don't care, I do this for fun, and then tweet something, #EdgeKiller. Then, within 5 hours, he had tweeted, yeah, like, I probably didn't really realize how much money I could have made. I didn't realize how big of an edge it was. Like, maybe I shouldn't have done it. Like, I get why people post this stuff, and it's like, you're right. It's not like you're doing something illegal. I can see why, and if you're literally just in this for clout, I can see why you would post it. But at the same time, like, I think this is a good lesson for people who see this and listen to this podcast or are on Twitter and see this. If you have an edge that can be made, I actually don't really know what this edge was. I didn't go and check that.
It was the mispriced. I think they were all priced in like -300 for a running back to get 1+ yard on the first drive.
And that's like minus.
Yeah, I don't know the exact pricing, but obviously -300 is too short with the amount of workload that a running back's going to get on a first drive.
If you have a unique edge like this, where you can repeat it, and it's just a pricing error at a book, especially at FanDuel, it is a money printing machine. So like, he says, I just do this for fun, but if he was presented with the amount of money he could have potentially made betting this, especially considering this edge is in every game. You could round robin every game, every week until they catch on. So the last thing you ever want to do is tweet something like this. I appreciate this guy actually, because he very quickly realized like, actually I did kind of fuck up. And he tweeted that and kind of said, hand up accountability. So, it is your right. If you're like, no, I'm well aware I can make a ton of money, but I just want clout, fine. But just, if you have an opportunity like this, take a second, step back, message someone in the community who has maybe better knowledge of how to take advantage of something like this and see. And then if you want to tweet it for clout, okay, fine, do it. But like, these people just don't understand the money that could be made, and they always do this and then end up regretting it.
Well, but see, I agree with everything you said, but the last point is why I don't blame them, because they don't understand.
Yes.
Right? Like, so to me, like, this is very distasteful message he got, which I understand because I've been in the position before where I've had an edge nuked in the exact same way. And it sucks. But like, you have to have the ability to think from the perspective of the other person. It's not even sometimes that they're doing it for clout. Like, they're just, like, he's like, I don't care, I'm doing this for fun. Like, he just doesn't know. So how could you expect him to approach someone else with this edge? Now, with that said, because of this show, many people in the last year have reached out to me saying, hey, I think I got something here. Can you help me get down on it? Whatever. I appreciate that. If you want to do that in the future, I'd be happy to take the stuff. But not everyone's going to be like that. And sometimes, like, someone just stumbles upon something and it sucks. Like, I try to liken it to, like, maybe non-sports betting, right? Like, if I found, like, a fishing hole, and there was, like, a pro fisherman who was always just there every single day, and I showed up there and I'm fishing with him all of a sudden in the same hole. Then I went and told a bunch of people, and now fucking some YouTube guy is on there and like everyone shows up and the fishing hole's ruined. I'm gonna be pretty fucking upset. Like, no matter what line you walk in, whether it's sports betting, anything in life where you have an edge and it gets blown up, you're gonna be upset. But you have to understand the other side of things. And for this guy, Giuseppe Paps, like, he doesn't know better. How can you blame a guy who doesn't know better? That's kind of where I'm at with the entire situation.
Well, like Kirk said, it's good to own up to it after the fact. But also, like, the person messaging here comes on in a way that, like, how do you expect the guy to react to that? Of course he's going to be pissed off when you message him like that. If you try to communicate, look, like, when you have an edge, there's probably a lot of other people who also have an edge, or there's at least some people who have the same edge as you. Like, it's not just you that you need to worry about. There's other people that are betting this. So don't come on as strongly as this as well. Obviously, he fucked up, though.
So I agree with everything you have said. Because in the past, like a decade ago, I probably would have done this. Now, in recent years, I would message someone to help me when I see something that I think is good and fun. That being, and like zoom out and like take a minute before you tweet it and like think about ways maybe you can work it better for yourself. Agreed. All of it. Don't disagree with anything. But like the last person on earth I give a fuck about is like a sports betting syndicate who lost their edge.
Especially when they're going to come at you like this, Geoff. Like, it's
just
gonna
in general.
Yeah.
Like in general, like I do not give a fuck. And agreed, the incentives of both parties don't align.
Yeah.
And I could see, obviously, it would really piss someone off if like the money hole closes. But the last person on earth I have any sympathy for is like a syndicate getting their edge squeezed.
Yeah, I mean, so
I
the
think
situation
That's like
that
a
happened to me.
non-pro better POV of it.
I've talked about this before. It's no longer a thing, but certain NHL arenas used to score shots on goal very differently from others, right? And there was like an edge to be had on some props related to that. And someone was publicly tweeting about it. I DM'd them. I said, hey, just so you know, like I've been betting this stuff for a while. If you could not tweet about it, that would be great. We ended up working. Like I ended up giving them a cut of my fill on those and like problem solved. There's a very rational way to approach it other than like fuck you, like you realize what you've done. I
was in a very similar situation a few years ago with the Mikal Bridges thing. I tweeted, and now looking back, I agree. I was overly aggressive and DK.
But you were mad. You were mad that somebody would take it away a good bet.
I was tilted about it.
Yeah.
But the guy who I yelled at, who I would now consider like we're friendly, he realizes like, yeah, fuck, I obviously shouldn't have done that. That was like,
was that the DK DFS guy?
Yeah,
I like that guy.
Like that was truly the nuts of an edge.
Yeah.
Like at a time where you could have made unlimited money on it as well.
For anyone who doesn't know, Mikal Bridges was going to play like less than a quarter because of his Ironman streak, and then it was going to get subbed out of the game instead of missing the game entirely.
He was priced for 35 minutes, and he was going to play. I think he played 12.
10.
Yeah, and you
12,
wouldn't even
sorry.
have to fix that one for him to leave the game.
Yeah, exactly. That was just purely ball knowledge.
Yeah, it's just it. That's it. Wow.
All right. Maybe some lessons learned all around on that one. We're going to dig into the comments from the previous week's show now, as we like to do, feature 3 comments that we liked and wanted to discuss for the show today. If you want something to discuss for next week, you have some thoughts on something we've said today, leave it in the comment section down below. While you're down there, great opportunity for you to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel as well. First comment that we have comes from Garnett Barnsdale, 9277. People are betting on words that will be used in a corporate meeting, a mentions market. Really? Seek help. Do you think, Geoff, that we need to seek help if we're betting into markets like this here?
It's very weird. I would assume you have like a big edge to be crazy enough to do it. Yeah.
I wouldn't. I don't know if I'd assume as much.
I mean, as someone who's bet on the final digit of the closing price on stock markets before, you know, mentions market doesn't sound insane to me, but I agree. I mean, I think you could bet on whatever you want, but certainly this one, it's kind of a little.
I would bet on next to like pretty much anything if I had an edge. So somebody feels like they have an edge, and this is like if there's actual records of these meetings, and you can find an edge on something being mispriced that they say often that is priced as if they don't say it very often. Well, like, fire away.
To an outsider looking in, they might think it's just as insane that someone could bet on like a spring training baseball game than a mentions market. What they don't realize is that there could actually be insanely big edges on those types of games. But because it's like a preseason event, people are like, you get this all the time when spring training starts. Can't believe people are betting this. Seek help. Like go to Gamblers Anonymous. It's like, well, no, not everyone needs to do that. Some people are looking for an edge, but yeah, it is a weird market. Let's call it out for what it is, and it can be manipulated, as we talked about last week.
And next comment comes from NBoss78, who says, highly doubt their trading prices on cash outs based on customer tendencies. It's conversation we had last week. We speculated if a rec bettor would get a lower cash out because they're more likely to take it than a sharp bettor who would need to be further enticed by that cash out to even consider it. What do you guys think? I think that it is possible that traders will change cash outs.
I'll bet this guy, and let's do it. And the easiest way to do it, I swear to God, would be with a golfer. So like we'd each bet the exact same amount, a sharp and a square, or someone that's regularly acknowledges they do hit cash out versus someone that never.
Yeah.
And we get to the weekend, and if this golfer is anywhere near anything, you'll be able to see.
All right.
And I'm telling you, I think you'd see two different numbers.
But I think it's the opposite. My understanding on this has always been that, like, a really wreck will get, like, essentially full cash outs. Well, they'll be able to bet cash out of, like, a bet for the full amount. But then, like, some sites have kind of like a tier 2 cash out where they'll offer like a cash out, but they know you're a sharper account and you're somewhat limited. But so like if you bet $10 on something, they'll give you like the $9.
All he's saying is different
you know
people
what?
are getting different cash outs.
You know what? I'll actually rephrase it. They can both be squares. But one is a habitual casher outer, and the other one never cashes out.
This is a good. This might be a good YouTube video.
That would be a good test. I have no idea.
Yeah.
Offers on the table for NBoss though, and Kirk did say that he would escrow as well.
No, nothing that's like I'm telling you. You play it out.
Interesting. I mean, I'm sure there's people out there who bet with their friends. If you have like a futures bet right now, check like what the cash out is and see if it's the same as your friends, and let us know.
If you're
in the comments
running a sports book in 2025, and your goal is to like extract as much money from the bettor over time as possible, and cash out is a widely used feature, you are going to start to play around with the cash outs. I mean, that's a very logical conclusion. I've never seen it happen because I never use cash out, but I think it's something that probably does happen.
All right.
There's definitely algos in the numbers.
Yeah.
And the offers, I should say.
In the offers, yeah.
Last comment. Coldest Wallet says, as a result of Geoff and Rob inhabiting the area, is there now a shortage of just for men? 2 men with a combined age of 80 plus. I don't think it's quite 80 plus, and yet
it is.
not.
Oh yeah,
it is.
Oh yeah.
And yet not a gray hair in sight. What's the secret, fellas? No grays at 40ish.
I do have grays, but I mostly get grays in my beard, and maybe the camera doesn't pick them up. I probably have some now, but I don't really care about gray. I would never use just for men because I mean, look at my hairline. Like, you think I give a shit? I don't care at all. So that's not me. I don't know I can't speak for you, Geoff, but I don't think you're a just for men guy either.
Firstly, I will say, of all like the comments, and this is probably the day after Game 7 or within 48 hours, and the amount of like hate I'm getting on the internet for things other than just baseball, this bothered me the most. It did. It did.
So you saw this before I put it up on screen?
The nerve, yeah. I put in the.
Okay.
I might send it to Rob. I'm like, the nerve. And I would never, like, let's put it out this way. I don't get consistent haircuts. I'm a bit of like a slob who can clean up nicely when I have to, and the wardrobe would allow for it. But I don't. I drink. I do drugs. I don't do anything in terms of like physical manicuring. I need glasses that I've just been too lazy to get. To think that I would like go out of my way or to like book these sorts of appointments to do these sorts of things, and if I did it, I would not be doing it in like a shower.
You can buy this stuff.
Yeah,
if I did it, I would not be even buying it in a fucking department pharmacy. I'd be like actually getting it done at a salon if I actually did it. I mean that.
If I didn't know the way to trigger. I know one way to trigger you is like Chargers slander, Justin Herbert. But like to accuse you of having dyed your
It's
hair.
the one thing I got.
I don't think this is meant to accuse you of being just a minute. I think it's like a joke. Like, wow, like you guys look great. Your hair looks great.
I think the implication is
age.
what are you doing?
No, you know what? To Jacob's point,
I took
we're
it
jumping
as,
down
like-
this guy's. He might just be saying, you know what? These guys have kept the color in their hair, but I'm getting grays.
No,
sure.
is there now a shortage? What are you guys talking about?
Yeah, but
Is that
it's a joke.
implying that we're buying it up?
I thought it was.
I think it could go in between
No,
of like
I know
taking
it's a
dig
joke.
or saying like
I don't think it's a dig.
It could be a compliment. It could be a.
I know
I
it's-
thought it was a compliment.
I know it's a joke, but still, I was like, I don't know. I think the slightest accusation.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Combined 80 plus, 2 men. Those are both facts confirmed.
I've
Just for
never-
men being used, that is being denied.
I've never found a gray. I have found like a white eyebrow once, though.
Yeah, I get. I get.
we'll
white.
get rid of those.
In my beard, I pluck them whenever I see them. You know, that's. My dad has had white hair, like gray hair, white hair, basically since I've known it. Like I only remember him. So he was my grandfather. Same thing. So surprisingly, I don't have it, but I wouldn't be surprised if it comes. And I don't
Next
care.
topic on the show comes from Spanky, host, or rather former host on the Be Better Bettors podcast, because he says, I haven't dropped a new Be Better Bettors in over 6 months. I've said most of what I had to say. I've had on most of the guests I've wanted to have on. I think it's time to officially announce the end of the podcast. Hope you became Better Bettors. Thanks for listening. Rob, I know you listen to this from time to time, but this kind of sounds a lot like the way you were feeling, I think, even earlier this year on this channel, or maybe even before we brought Circle back on. Do you kind of feel what he's going through? Did you used to feel like this? What are your thoughts on the end of Be Better Bettors?
Yeah, so I will say I probably listened to 75% of the Be Better Bettors episodes. He did have my favorite podcast episode of all time, which was when he interviewed Chris Bruno, which if you haven't listened to that episode, it's just a great storytelling episode. That's all I want to say. I actually don't even want to spoil a lot of it. I get it. I don't know his exact motivations. I know he says I've had most of the guests I wanted to have on, and maybe like the well is running dry. I felt that before, definitely guest booking in the space, especially once you start to reach out to people that you don't do business with or you don't know, and you like have to vet them on top of it because you don't, like there's a lot that goes into it. So I get it. It's just, I don't want to say it's like disappointing, because I don't want to say my feeling is disappointment, but it's a good podcast that's gone. And, you know, there's not a lot of great stuff in the space nowadays. I mean, most of what I'm listening to, I'm fucking hate listening to at this point. Like, I don't even enjoy the show. I'm listening to it because I get so worked up that I feel something from listening to it. But it was a good run for Spanky, and I had to listen to this thing on like 1.5 times minimum most of the time because of how slow he talks.
Spanky, yeah.
Oh, but it was a good run. So as long as if it's his heart's not in it anymore, what are you gonna do? That's it.
Agreed. Great podcast. I listened a lot and learned a lot from it, especially early on in my betting. It's like a kind of just to me a good life cycle of a podcast. You know, I don't think Spanky was ever trying to do this to, you know, go super viral. He just kind of liked talking betting, like getting good bettors on. It was a good podcast. And like, yeah, he's probably interviewed a lot of, or most of the people he wanted to. So yeah, I think that this makes sense.
Have you ever listened to Be Better Bettors?
Yeah, parts of it. I would say, yeah, like Rob said, it's good and it's gone. That sucks. I guess like a lot of people just wonder like the finality of just like ending it, because he still runs Bet Bash. That's still his baby.
Yep.
I'm not saying this is what he's thinking. I do agree it's more like his heart's not in it or he's just too busy. There's just could be so many other reasons, but it's in some ways like almost, I don't want to be making something up, but like part of it is like not shitting, but like not caring for what this like next younger generation of gamblers have to say. He's kind of interviewed the people he's wanted to, and none of you young buccos are gonna get it. I just think as a guy who's like Bet Bash seems like his primary thing in the betting space now, at least forward facing. I'm sure he's still crushing it, or as people make him the bets for him. I'm not debating that. You would still sort of want this thing to, be talking to new people who might even be part of Bet Bash. That's sort of where my head went.
The only thing I like with Bettor Bettors, the format never really changed, right? He did a lot of, I don't know the exact amount of episodes, but the format was always the same. It's just like an interview style. And I don't know, for some people that really works and they can sustain that over a long period of time. I can just speak to my own personal, situation. It got to a point for me where I just kind of felt like I was going through the motions. And I still got some interviews coming up for the rest of this year and into early 2026 as well. But I just never had the drive to keep them going as well. And
will the old episodes remain? Because there's still a lot of good.
There's some good episodes.
Even people who aspire to do what you guys do.
Yep.
All of them, you could get something out of.
100%. You through a lot of these interview episodes, you pick up little things here and there that just really help you moving forwards. But anyways, congrats to Spanky. It was a good run. I like Spanky a lot. I consider him a friend. And, I will say the response to that as well probably makes him feel pretty good, because there's a lot of people that were in there and said it helped them a lot in their betting journey.
There you go. But before we go to our next topic, let's hear about the newsletter we have here at the Hammer. Rob, give us what you want to say here.
Yeah, absolutely. Promoting it pretty hard right now, and part of the reason why is I actually think it just provides a lot of value to bettors. I subscribed to hundreds of newsletters when we were kind of planning out what we were going to do for ours, and kind of just seeing where I think we can fit a gap in market and where we can provide value. If you're betting on the NFL, I would 100% subscribe to this, especially for all the injury information in there. But we're now starting to work in some different stuff on a weekly basis. Suma does a takeaways article from the NFL. Moretto's writing an NHL article every week. We have Kirk on Friday with whatever topic he wants to talk about as well. So there's a lot that you can get through this. It's a fairly simple, quick read, but it'll keep you informed. You'll learn some stuff in there. So check it out if you haven't already. The QR code is on screen for those who are watching on YouTube. And if you're listening in audio form, you can click the link in the description. But we're getting really good open rates. People are reading through the whole thing. And I think that's a sign that it's valuable to people in the space.
With that, we can move into the final full-scale topic on this show today, which is a little bit of a reply, I suppose, to a topic we covered on the Friday edition of Circle Back. We really went in on ESPN over the debacle with ESPN Bet and some of their analysts promoting a very shady solitaire app. Stephen A. Smith kind of led the charge there, but Mina Kimes was also heavily involved in the promo there, and she is now backtracking on this promo. Somebody replied to her and saying, the little dignity and integrity you had is completely out the window. And she said, the truth is, I didn't spend any time looking into the whole thing, and that's 100% on me. Thought it was just typical marketing work, and I'm deeply embarrassed I didn't vet it. A colossal fuck up on my part. At Hawk Blogger replied and said, Mina almost immediately owns the mistake and apologizes. She gets hammered for it, while the other people involved get a free pass, which, by the way, absolutely did not get a free pass. Other people like Stephen A. Smith, by the way. People are showing their true color. So I kind of disagree with that, but this was a really bad look for Mina Kimes and other people at ESPN. Geoff, do you think that this apology holds any merit?
Yeah, of course. Sure, because I believe that she feels fucking horrible.
I agree
about it. If you follow her career, any part of what she attaches herself to and what she stands for, she must feel horrible. She doesn't tweet a lot anyway. She's probably on that blue dump, tweeting her opinions most of the time. I've never been there. But anytime she's tweeted since it, she just could not come up for air. It was just so many replies about it. It's all. Unless you were a hardo of the team that she wasn't speaking nice about.
Right.
Every other reply was that. The apology, though, something just doesn't sit right with me. Because she is, there's no way she would tweet something without, knowing a bit more. There's just no way, in my opinion. Especially anything that involves the gambling. Are we just to believe Stephen A. like, I don't want to say bullied her, but I don't want to say me too'd her, but used his like position of power in a green room over these people to be like, you have to do it and you got to tweet it by 8 o'clock. Like, I don't know. And so it doesn't feel right. And I will say, as to the last part, she's getting fucking hammered because she has this I'm holier than now approach. Yeah. Full stop. Stephen A., we expect less from him. So he does get fair or not. Okay, to me, I know like whatever, I'm on a binge for it, but it's like the same reason like Bill Burr got so much heat for going to Riyadh for comedy, because he holds himself to a bit of a different standard. He has said many things against people who've done those sorts of things and has sort of lived by that code. So when you go against it, you are not going to get the same heat as people that we would just expect less from, or our standards are lower than. So you created this in your holier than now, and that is why she's getting hit harder than others.
Yeah, I think that this is a case where a lot of things are true. One, like, Mina deserves to get absolutely destroyed for this. Like, a total embarrassment that they posted the ad stuff. And if she didn't look through it, like, just completely embarrassing. I think she deserves to be drowning in her mentions. Like, I think that's completely fair. But I actually do agree, and I kind of think you actually agreed as well in a way that, not necessarily that the other people are getting a free pass, but I think people really don't like Mina Kimes.
Yes.
I think people really, so I think she is, like, even if you just look at this example right now, it was Stephen A. Smith's, like, ad. He was the one promoting it. Mina just posted a reply, but this whole segment is about Mina, and we don't have anything about Stephen A. Smith. I do think that it's correct that she's getting way more shit for it, and probably undeserved, mostly because people don't really care to attack Stephen A. Smith, and people do want to bury Mina Kimes. So I think it is true that she deserves to get shot on, and this was really embarrassing. But I also do think it's true that people are ripping on Mina more than others.
100% there's a double standard here. And I'd almost like to compare it. It is like, to the sports media world, Stephen A. is essentially like Trump.
Yeah.
He is like, he's like president, figuratively, of sports media, at least in like any semblance of the mainstream setting, where, you know, he can do things, say crazy things. He just does shouty show stuff all day long. So yes, there's absolutely double standard. And Mina, people probably, because she holds herself very, where like people were like just waiting, I guess, for her to fuck up.
Yes.
So you are right. And Stephen A. fucks up like 8 times a year.
Bingo.
And the internet yells at him 8 times a year. Well, like, Mina never fucks up. So people were like sharpening their knives. I agree with everything.
That I think is like the main takeaway, is that whether right or wrong, you kind of almost expect it from Stephen A. Smith. Yeah. You know, so it doesn't come as a surprise when he's involved, but it comes as a huge shock when Mina Kimes is involved in that. Now, I will say 99% of people who are going to weigh in on this, it's going to be based off of what they previously thought of Mina Kimes, no matter what. Like, she's not changing anyone's mind with this, right? It's like, if they were already in her corner, they're going to continue to be in her corner. If they're not, they're going to flame her regardless. I think it takes guts to post an apology regardless. I wish more people would own up to their actions in society. It doesn't excuse the fact that she did it, but at least making people aware that she is now aware that she fucked up, I think is very important. The big issue, in my opinion, is how in the fuck ESPN, of all brands, could even allow this to happen. Like, this is just it's basically like side sponsorships that are happening outside. What other network lets their staff and employees do that without vetting what they are doing?
This is a Stephen A. Smith symptom. He like is the circus. He runs the circus, and this is everything is a spawn of his just total control over the whole operation.
But like, maybe I don't watch a lot of traditional sports media anymore. I don't watch First Take or anything like that. Is Stephen A. Smith like are enough people tuning in just to watch Stephen A. Smith every day? Like
Yes.
that's what I don't
think so.
understand.
Seems
He's
like it,
the
Rob.
highest paid
Right.
guy in all of media.
And they've given him a
Sports
big
media.
leash where he can run his own podcast and he can talk politics and he can go on News Nation with Cuomo and Bill O'Reilly and give his opinions on everything. Well, they've told everyone who works for them to not talk about any of this. It is his show. Like
Which like isn't like
it is his network. it
Isn't that
seems.
like a sad
Yeah,
reflection
for sure.
of reality for you? That someone who is basically just like scripting the most egregious takes possible is like now must watch
How did you-
TV. I don't know that.
And
I
let's
don't know
remember. And let's remember the reason that Stephen A. Smith is the guy they recruited for this solitaire game was because when he was at the NBA Finals, he was playing solitaire while the game was going on.
Yeah.
But I just want to comment quickly on one thing, because you said whether it's right or wrong, we kind of grade Stephen A. Smith on a curve.
Yeah.
To me, that is objectively wrong.
Yeah.
Stephen A. Smith is the highest paid employee in all of sports media. Like you said, he has the widest leash. He has a podcast where he talks politics, he talks everything. He is way more famous, way more important, way more known than Mina Kimes. So like just saying like, oh well, like he's an idiot, so like he's gonna do it. That is wrong to grade him on that curve versus Mina on a different curve.
Just because, like, you're friends with Pablo Torre, you can't tweet that. Like,
Yeah.
like Mina's held to
Yes.
a bit of a different standard. That being said, quickly, I can't stand. I hate the Jerry Jones Stephen Smith relationship, because if I owned a team and you spoke about my team like you speak about it on the platform for which you speak about it, we're not friends.
Yeah.
That's but Jerry Jones runs a content organization, maybe more than a football team. I want to fight back on one thing though. Not all the comments were just the strict haters, because she didn't tweet a lot, so I was just curious about it. It's fascinated, the story. There were plenty of tweets, guys, that was like, oh my, when like memes of when you're no longer my GOAT.
Oh, yeah,
Like fans of hers who were crushed. There were tons of haters in there, but a lot of it is like when you realize like my GOAT isn't my GOAT.
Yeah.
Whereas like a huge percentage of those mentions also, because she could shake off like what she would just deem as people who hate me, who will just attack me when I wouldn't even do this. It was probably tweets like that like really got her good.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I agree. It's a fascinating story. How something like this could happen is truly beyond me. Really, when you just like scale it back, be like, you have all these like essentially journalists, right? What journalism is very broad, right? But promoting like a solitaire site that's rigged with bots. Like it's
Like
nuts.
actively being sued.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy. It's a crazy story. And I will, listen.
It's worse than her tweeting out Warren Sharp's playbook.
Hey, I agree.
Quickly
Sadly.
before we go on, I will say, and this is just a reflection of how my brain works. When I first heard about this story, my immediate thought was like, could I train AI to play this game and auto win for me and make some money? So that's just how my brain works and what I was thinking. I looked into it. It turns out no is a very firm answer. At least I couldn't think of a way. There was a woman who played like 8 hours a day and made like $70. So, but yeah, I thought maybe there was an edge there, but I don't think so.
And her whole shtick was like, we make fun of Stephen A. for this solitaire NBA Finals incident. It is like a thread line now through Stephen
Yeah.
A. Smith discourse. So I'm just trying to figure out how it was sold to her. So now you can make a few bucks on these jokes that you already make.
It's tough. I get it. Like at the end of the day, you would. I'd like to think I would never make that mistake, but I could see a scenario where I could make.
Everyone's
that
got
mistake,
a price.
right? It's like here's your ad read for today, like for the show, and you just go and you read it, and like I mean, George puts them together for us for the Hammer every week, right? And he just sends out a document for everyone's show. Jason, your ad read for Hammer Daily, Rob, Jacob for your shows or whatever. And like if one day George just puts something in there, I might not even question it. I might be like, hey, George, what's up with this new thing? He'd be like, oh, a new sponsor. And I'd be like, all right, I can see it. So, but
On
at the end of the day,
vagina? You're gonna like Ron Burgundy yourself reading George is gonna set you up.
it could happen.
The thing is, and Stephen A is an employee of ESPN of Disney. Like at least McAfee, when the shit hits the fan there, the sometimes that it does, he's got the back out that I am like a freelance employee. They have contracted my show. Right? Like they're totally different. That allows McAfee to get away with things that Stephen A probably shouldn't, but he can.
Yeah. That's what happens when the personalities become bigger than the network, unfortunately.
Yeah.
All right. We can now move on to the final segment of the show, which is, of course, the chopping block stuff that we didn't think required full-scale segments, but we still want to dedicate a little bit of time to them and discuss them on this show. First of all, we have Potato Commish talking about their Circa Sports, Circa Millions Week 10 picks, and then a reply from @Sheets Pones, who says, I've known Potato Commish for 40 years, and I've tried to impress upon him that this contest has nothing to do with picking who you like, but to model ownership and try to obtain leverage. Yet he continues to not listen and just go with what he likes. Some people never learn, and I guess those people are actually me. What do you think on this one, Rob? Is this the correct way to approach Circa Millions?
It's funny because Potato Commish is first. He's 39-11 year to date, or 38-11 with Packers pending tonight. So he's first, right? And Potato Commish has followed me for years. I want to say every interaction we've had has been very positive. I kind of feel this other guy, Eric Haber's pain, because really, there's more to just picking the games you like every week. At least there should be when there's this many people involved. There should be some sort of ownership modeling. There's different picks you'd make in different scenarios. But at some point, you just got to kind of laugh it off and be like, you know what? This guy's running insanely hot. Everyone is free to do whatever they want here. But I have definitely, and maybe Kirk has experienced this before, where you try to argue with a friend about something and you're like, this is obviously not correct, and they keep having results doing it, and then you're just like, just fucking do it, man. It's working for you, like, just do it.
Yeah, like Eric Haber, I assume this tweet, especially with the brackets at the end, is very like in jest, because considering like obviously you can't criticize Potato Commish in this situation when he's 35-10.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can feel the frustration of yes, he's obviously right. Projecting ownership essentially is everything in this pool when you're picking lines and knowing what the close is going to be. Like, I don't think Potato Commish is winning in the NFL at close, but yeah, it's funny. It's like, yeah, it's a classic in your eye of like a sharper person will say something, then someone just gets molten hot and, you know, you kind of have to just shut up.
I'll donate to Survivor plenty forever, but I never play this. Because I know, like, I could never do that. Ever. And I'm an idiot. Like, I know I'm not going to win Survivor.
Like 38-11 after last night is insane.
I could never do it.
Why?
And not say I could actually win Survivor, but a part of my brain, like, you know,
why
just
not you?
Why not you?
Probability.
I could never do. No. It's a different. Like, I could never do that. Have 78% NFL capping. I know. I'm self-aware enough to know. Never, not in a million years, could I do it.
But if you flipped 45 coins, 35 of them are going to come up heads. It's probabilistically speaking, anyone can win. I mean, so by the way, I don't want to diminish anything that this guy's doing here because I like him quite a bit and I'm rooting for him. I really hope that he wins. I know he took down the Circa quarterly last time around. I think I don't know that he
won this year. The quarterly, right?
He won the quarterly for the second quarterly that they run. So I think which was like 80K, something like that. So decent pop. I'm not trying to diminish in any way, but if you actually, and this is also this is not a Fezzik criticism right here. It's not. But if you go back and look at like previous Circa Millions winners or people who've regularly cashed, and then you look at their standings on a yearly basis, you would see that even people who've won before are like lifetime losers in the contest, including that winning year. So you can win. Anyone can win over the course of one season where you're picking 5 games a week and you have the advantage of looking at where lines have moved as well. Like, anyone can win. There is some skill. but there's so much luck involved in this contest. Anyways, I hope it goes well for him. I hope we didn't curse him here by putting it on Circle Back, you know?
Well, Rob, you said it wasn't pheasant criticism. This next segment might be. We have Adrian Badgerowski, who said, hashtag Pheasant Chronicles of him being a fucking joke pick seller. NFL biggest release, a 3-star sack prop. How many books had this prop, and what was the limit? $500? Yet BR, number 2, is down 13 units, but works harder and gives you better plays when he is down. Hashtag circle back. So minus 113.37 units on the year. A 3-star sack prop. Rob, I'll let you say, I don't know how to tee you up. I'll let you say whatever you want to say.
Yeah, you left out some very important info of this one, which was that Steve Fezzik was plus 250 units in the 5 years prior to him being down 113 units this year, just to paint the full picture. It's a fucking joke, for real. I didn't really want to get in on this, but like a 3-star release on first sack? Broncos' first sack as a 3. He's finding all the derivative ways to play his only edge right now, which he's giving out to clients, which is projecting the coin toss, right? Which, by the way, is actually, I'm now in the boat of the other guy that DM'd whoever we were talking about earlier here, where like it's gotten so bad for the service that his only edge is like these first quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter derivatives, team to get a first down, team to get a sack, and he's now got to give them out on the service because he's down so bad at this point in time. But this guy is treating this betting service like it's his own personal betting portfolio. I cannot encourage you enough not to subscribe to stuff when people are giving out 30 plays a day. Some of them are live in-game. They're betting back on other sides that they bet back pre-game. Like, when you are in the tout industry, there's no great standards, but like you got to think about your clients first and foremost. And this is just like another tactic to make things look better than they seem. Because if you're giving a 3-star prop, Broncos first sack, the limits in market are very low on that. So to have it as a 3-star play, like 3% of bankroll, 3 units, it's absurd. Like you can't do that. You can't do like non-widely available props with low limits as your biggest play on the board. I mean, like he gives Raiders Broncos over 42 as 2-star, but this prop is 3-star. Like one has an enormous market to bet into, the other has none. And by the time a few people bet it, the rest of the clients are fucked. I've said my piece. I said my piece.
I just don't think there's that much more to say on Fez. This is like gotten sad to sad.
It's actually getting sad to see at this point.
I think it's past sad at this point.
I think every week there's something new where I'm like, I honestly can't believe this. I can't believe it happened. I really can't believe it happened. I'm glad there was no release, though, while I was doing the pizza buffet live this week, because my props actually went really well. And, wasn't able to pass one of those off to clients this week.
His clients, you wouldn't be, like his clients could use the break.
It's true.
Let them.
You know what you're signed up for. Like,
at this point, if someone has seen this through, Godspeed. Like,
Didn't
pray for them.
Didn't your wife for Halloween go as a Fezzik client?
No? I love what you're doing. For those that don't know the joke here, my wife for Halloween, when I was at Blue Jays game 6 that night. No, but it was game 7 when she went to the Halloween party. She dressed as a homeless person with like a cardboard sign and a cup that said, "Please help. Husband spent our savings on Blue Jays World Series tickets."
That's what you're telling the people.
I honestly want to impose. Could we like mutually agree to impose just like a Fez ban? Like a 1 month.
You guys
okay? No, listen. You guys voted on the topic.
You guys voted on this too, but
who are you talking to?
Hang on.
No, wait. Let's not pretend like you guys don't have voting powers in the Google sheet here.
Yeah.
Okay. Kirk didn't vote, so that's on you. Geoff said yes. Rob said chop because he wanted it in the chopping block. I said no. I'm the only one who said no.
Let's make November, the remainder of November, a Fez-free month. Can we just agree on that?
This is like no, not November.
I said no. I said no to this. You guys wanted it.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's no Fezzer this month.
Perfect.
I feel like I write yes to most.
I just get increasing, like, I don't even really
Not
want to know
blaming
what's
you, but
going on here.
Rob doesn't want it yet. He didn't say no in the
but
poll.
I'm actively trying to, like, avoid these. And I guess at this point...
You make the list, too. You put it in.
Yeah, I'm just trying to suck up to my
I search
boss.
hashtag circle back. I mean, Adrian Badgerowski, this guy's hashtagging circle back everything. I drop him in the sheet.
I think no November.
We got a process.
No Fez November.
No Fez
Adrian is to like Fezzik what Pablo Torre is to Ballmer.
Yeah.
Like he's just up his rear.
And I enjoy it. Last thing on the chopping block for today. On Sunday Night Football, we had Donald Trump in the Fox NFL broadcast room. He did a little bit of play-by-play. Jonathan Vilma was trying to get like as many 6-7 jokes in as he possibly could, which was just, I mean, this whole thing was just kind of crazy. Jack Settleman said, keep politics out of sports, and Fox letting Trump run a campaign live on the broadcast. There are some people who felt this way. Other people saw some funny parts of it, like Jack Mack, who said Trump thinks the Fox broadcast is the home broadcast for the Commanders. I think he said that you guys, he said to the Congress, you guys have a really good backup quarterback. I think he said to them.
He did.
Definitely said that.
Yeah.
And then Carson Breber says Trump just went, whoa, on a 3-yard run up the middle, not controlling the game at all, rambling, saying, let's see what happens here before every plays. He's not built for this. Did we enjoy this part of the broadcast? Did we not enjoy it? What did you guys think?
Oh, this was like S tier for me on. I loved, first of all, I do agree with Jack's larger point of keeping politics out of sports. I totally agree with that. This is like hypocritical for me to say that I enjoyed it, but I did because it was just so funny. It was just so funny. It's like it's the president of the United States on NFL broadcast. They're asking him to call plays, which is like, he's like, let's see what happens here. 3-yard run up the middle. Exactly. Whoa! Like it was fun. It was fucking hilarious. It was great content. I was thoroughly entertained while Donald Trump was on air for this portion of the broadcast. I'm glad I was able to see it live. So yeah, I don't know. I loved it.
Yeah.
Did Red Zone give it?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
they treated
But
it like a
Red Zone. So I actually had this game on solo separately as well.
Yeah, me too.
But Red Zone actually cut away when Trump was talking as well. I
Someone's
noticed
in the
that.
red zone.
Yeah,
No,
exactly.
yeah, no, they
Someone's in
were
the red.
treating it like normal. They were trying to go to it, but like cutting away when like it was a timeout or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, like if Kamala Harris had won the presidency and she was live on a broadcast, people would have lost their minds for sure. But Trump is nothing if not hysterical. So I was laughing the entire time he was on there. So
Sleepy Joe could never get him in the booth to commentate a game.
Would never. The whoa, like I died. I loved it. What made it work was the fact that like we had 3 freaking blowouts.
Yeah. Oh, horrible.
So like
late.
he
horrible late window.
Yeah, it was like a horrible slate of like competitive football. So it just was like a nice second half reprieve in those horrible games. Nice, I mean like humorous and entertaining. I don't really think we need them there, but
Maybe like once a season. I don't want to see it again now.
but like yes, they
fine
shouldn't
in
be
the
there.
moment.
But the guy likes sports. Like he legitimately likes sports. UFC, golf, football. Like he's a sports guy.
Yeah.
for sure.
And
He's a
Obama
big
got
Giants
fill up
and Jets
brackets
fan,
and shit.
as he said.
I don't care. It's interesting. You ever see someone that like is a political level that high on a sports broadcast if they're for a few minutes? I don't know. It's
Why
interesting.
on earth wasn't it? You would have thought if they had, they didn't obviously know that much in advance, or you think just for that reason alone, Brady would have done the game. Brady and who is it with him? Burkhardt.
Yeah.
No, or is that just?
I think it probably wasn't that known because
Yeah.
I didn't hear about it. Like,
It was there's nothing leading up to it. It's just
Yeah.
like he's
Well,
Donald
he-
Trump
and
is
also
on
he's
with
there.
trying to
Donald
get
Trump,
the-
like he could have decided that morning. Like
He's
I
trying to
wanna
get
be in
the-
booth.
Yeah,
me in the booth.
Get me in the booth.
He's trying to get the naming rights to the new Commander's Stadium,
I don't
so maybe
believe
that's
that.
something to do with that.
Do you think he actually believes that, or he's just knows how he can just watch people lose their mind? A little bit of both.
I think a combo.
Yeah.
I think he's self-aware a little bit. I don't know. Anyways, for the afternoon slate yesterday, with how bad those games were, that was the most entertaining spot. Period.
Yeah.
Probably. All right. Well, hopefully this show wasn't as unentertaining as the late window was in Sunday football. Hopefully you did enjoy the show. If you did and you made it to the end, that deserves a like. Make sure you hit the like button down below. And make sure you subscribe to Circles Off. This is the Hammer's lifestyle content division where we have Circle Back live Mondays at 1, pre-recorded Friday at 8 a.m. And also we have Wednesday videos that come out at 1 p.m. So much great content to keep you entertained. But again, hope you did enjoy. Leave a comment down below for the next show, and we will see you again next time.